Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam sir.
Walaikum salam, sir.
Any question from the last lecture? Any question from the last lecture? We are trying to explore the divide and conquer strategy, which is a recursive strategy. And for that purpose, we are covering the algorithm of merge sort. And last time we have seen the merge activity mostly and try to analyze the merge part of the merge sort algorithm. If you have or confusions, you can raise your hand. Yes, 1605.
Sir, if it's possible, this slide, review this slide once again, sir.
Okay. Okay, we have covered this MySort algorithm, and in this MySort algorithm, we have a sub algorithm with the name merge, which is actually used to perform the merge activity. As far as the terminology of divide and conquer is concerned, this is kind of conquer and combine activity, which we do in the merge part of the algorithm. In merge, we actually take two subarrays and combine them into a single subarray. These two subarrays are already sorted. We just combine them into a single or merge them into a single subarray. This is the merge algorithm. Uh, First, we perform a loop. In this loop, we compare the first element of the first or left subarray with the first element of the right subarray. We have actually one array. Uh, the name of the array is actually A. Its first part is on the left side of the array, and its second part is on the right side of the array. And here in the first part, we have used an index with the name I. And here in the second part, we have used an index with the name J. Okay, we are comparing the ith element with the j element. If a of I is less than equal to a of j, we simply transfer a of I in another array with the name b. It has same size as the size of a. So if a of I is less than equal to f of j, we will simply transfer this element inside this array. Okay, and if this is not true, in the else part, we transfer aj will be transferred on the b array. And because you can observe that this is post increment operation here with these indexes, this is the post increment operator. It means that it will use the current value of I and j and k, and then after the execution it will transfer the index on the next element, or it will simply move the index on the next element. After that, we have written two loops. If some elements are left on the left side of the array, they will be transferred on the B. And if some elements left on the right side of the array, they will be transferred on the array B. The first loop will transfer left elements on the left side of the array, and the second loop will transfer left elements on the side of the array. Okay, and after that we simply transfer all the elements of B into the A, because A is the array which we ultimately want to sort. This is the animation which we have covered last time, and this is the timing analysis of the algorithm in theta format. The merge activity in merge sort actually takes this time. Just keep in your mind, this is not the time of merge sort. This is time of merge activity, which is part of merge sort and repeatedly called. This is only is the time of the merge activity, not the complete merge sort algorithm. This is almost is the review of the discussion which we have done last time. Any question still? You can raise hand. Any question, you can raise hand. Okay, I'll try to speak louder. Any question? Okay, let's start our today's discussion. Okay, after we have calculated the time of the merge sort, we will simply label the time of the merge here with the merge sort algorithm. Here you can see that we have labeled the time of the merge activity. This is the time of the merge activity, and we know that this merge activity will not be performed only once. It will be performed multiple times. So many times this activity will be performed repeatedly. With each recursive function call, this activity will be performed of merging the subarrays into a single subarray. So this activity of merge will be repeatedly performed. Now let's have some discussion on this algorithm, and then we will try to represent this situation into a form of equation. We will use an equation to represent this situation of the merge activity or merge sort activity. Now let's assume if the size of array is equal to 1. If the size of array is equal to 1, now let's assume what will happen if array only consists of one element. It only consists of one element. It means that P and Q, P and R are actually on the same place. Index values of P and R are actually same, and if array consists of only one element, this condition will become false. You can observe that this condition will become false, and this whole algorithm will not be executed. No statement of this complete algorithm will be executed. If array consists of single element or array is a single sized array, this algorithm will not be executed. We know that, and in that situation the time of the algorithm will be constant. So we can say that the time of the algorithm will be constant if the size of array is equal to 1. You can observe that if the array size is equal to 1, it means that this whole algorithm will not be executed. No statement, no recursive statement, no merge activity, no statement of this algorithm will be executed. And in that situation, the time of the algorithm is equal to θ1 or constant time. This will occur when the size of the array is equal to 1 or n is equal to 1. Now, if the n is greater than 1, what will happen? If n is greater than 1, so this condition will become true. It will return true. And what the algorithm will do, it will half the array and pass the half element to one recursive call. I'm calling then n over 2 elements to one recursive call and almost n over 2 element to the other recursive call. Okay, you can observe this phenomena here. If the size of the array is greater than n, it means that the function will divide the array size into two and pass half of the array to the first recursive call and half of the array to the second recursive call. And for each recursive call, because this is a function call, this merge activity will also be performed for each recursive call, and this process will just keep on going unless we will reach on the base case of this situation, and then this activity will be stopped and the merge activity will be performed for all the function calls which are actually put in the system stack. So you can find this discussion from this slide as well. Let T of n is the worst case running time on the array of length n if we call merge sort with an array which contains a single item. So in that situation, the time of the algorithm T of n is equal to theta 1. Okay. Now, if the n size is greater than 1, we know that what the merge will do, it will split the array into two halves. Okay, and call the merge activity with the first half with the ceiling round off activity, and then call the merge with the other half by using the floor seal off round off activity. And we do not know the time, but we only know that this algorithm will call itself var n over 2 elements. So this behavior can be shown by using an expression. This expression is now written here. I will try to explain other concepts which are mentioned in the slide by using this relation or this equation. The time of merge sort T of n is equal to constant time theta 1 time if n is equal to 1. Okay, if n is not equal to 1, then what will happen? If this is the situation when n is not equal to 1, so we will call this function again. You can observe that this is a function call, just like the same function call here. This is the function call, but for n over 2 elements. You can observe the floor symbol here. It is for round off purpose. We will call the function with n over 2 elements. This is the first recursive call. I am it as R1. This is your first recursive call. And then again you will call this function. This is your second recursive call. I'm referring it as R2. Okay, your first recursive call with n over 2 elements plus your second recursive call plus the time of merge. This is the time of merge. Okay, the third thing which we have here is actually time of merge. It will only happens when the size of array is greater than 1. So when the size of the array is greater than 1, what we will do, we will call this again with n over 2 elements and again with n over 2 elements plus the merge activity which will be performed in theta n times. We know that we have already calculated it. And this time will also be added with this whole time of this merge activity. Okay, you can observe that here we have used these functions, floor and ceiling functions. This is a ceiling function. This symbol actually shows the ceiling function, and this symbol actually shows to the floor function. It means that if the size of array is equal to 7, if we divide it into 2, this floor function will use like 2 on the left side and okay 3 on the left side and 4 on the right side. We will get uh, we will get 3.5 as the answer when we divide 7 with 2. Because we have used the floor function, it will just return 3 if we pass it 3.5, and when we use the ceiling function, it will return 4 when we pass it the floor ceiling function. Sorry. That is why we have used these floor and ceiling functions just to accommodate the odd sizes of the array. If the array has odd sizes, these floor and ceiling functions will accommodate the odd sizes of the array. It will simply add 1 in the size on the right side and subtract 1 on the left side. If we have 9 elements, for say, on the left side of the array we have 4 elements, and on the right side of the array we have 5 elements. Okay, this whole behavior, this whole situation is often referred as recursive relation or recursive equation. We can use many terminologies for it. Now I am erasing the information here. You can find it here as well. This kind of equation is called recursive equation or recurrence. We can use 3 terminologies for it. It can be termed as recursive relation. It can be also be termed as recursive equation. It can also be termed as simply recurrence. Recurrence or recursive equation is an equation which has actually 2 parts, sometimes more than 2 parts. Its first part is technically known as base part or base case. This portion is known as base part or base case. And its second portion is known as recursive part. Its second portion is known as recursive part or recursive case. Whenever we have recursion, we must have these 2 divisions of the recursive algorithm. The base part of the recursion, where this recursive calls will be ended, and the recursive part which consists of the self calls or the recursive calls of the function. So this type of equation is known as recursive equation or recurrence, or simply the recursive relation. Now let's further little bit just define further this recursive equation here. Here we just want to ignore these floor and ceiling functions. We just want to ignore these floor and ceiling functions, and we can ignore these floor and ceiling functions by using this assumption. It means that the size of the array will be equal to 2 raised to power k always. You can use this assumption for algorithm analysis, as it is written here. In analysis, we can ignore the floor and ceiling functions on the assumption n is equal to 2 raised to power k. You can use this assumption for algorithm analysis, but you cannot use this symbol or assumption when we are implementing these algorithms. For implementation part, we must have to consider the odd size of the arrays, but here because we are doing the analysis activity, we can ignore this floor and ceiling functions. It does not matter on the analysis, and we can ignore these floor and ceiling functions on the assumption that n is equal to 2 raised to power k. The value of n is like kind of 8. It is kind of 16, 32, 64, and so on. Okay, it is in the set of 2 raised to power k, and when you will have 2 raised to power k value, you will not get the uneven sizes of the array throughout the base situation, throughout the base case of this algorithm. That is why we used to have this assumption that n is equal to k, and with this assumption we can ignore these floor and ceiling functions. And here you can observe that we have ignored the floor and ceiling functions, and now you can easily understand this equation here. We have called the function with n input size. Function again call its with n over elements, in n over elements second time, and then the merge activity. Okay, and you can observe that these two functions are actually or exactly same, mirror effect of each other. We can add them simply, and now our final recursive equation is like this. By ignoring the floor and ceiling function, now our equation is equal to 2t n over 2 plus theta n. Okay, now I am going to leave this discussion for some time, and now you can raise hands if you have questions. Any question, you can raise hand. What we have done so far, we have actually converted the merge sort algorithm into a form, and this form is known as recursive equation or recursive relation. Any question from this discussion? Yes, 1045.
सर ये फ्लोर और सीलिंग फंक्शन का बता दें कि जब 7 से आपने डिवाइड किया था 2 को तो उस टाइम 3.5 आया था, तो आप कह रहे थे अगर वो बता दें थोड़ा सा।
जब वो 3.5 आया था तो जाहिर है 3.5 और 3.5 की अरेज तो नहीं बन सकती, तो फ्लोर फंक्शन जो है वो क्या करेगा, वो 3.5 को 3 कर देगा। तो एक साइड पे we will get an array of size 3, and the ceiling function will perform 3.5 into 4, and on the right side we will get an array of size 4. Okay, just to accommodate the odd sizes of the array, we need to use these floor and ceiling functions, and they must required for implementation purpose, as we have ignored them on the assumption that n is equal to 2 raised to power k. We will never face the issue of odd sizes of the array. Okay, the array which you have seen in the example, it has size of a. You can recall the array which we have covered in the example of my sort, it has a size of 8, and we do not have the issue of odd size of the array throughout the base situation of the algorithm. ठीक है जी? Any other question? Any other question? You can raise hand. So what we have done so far, if you do not have question, let me ask some questions. 1637. 1637. Unmute करे mic. 1637. Are you there?
Sir, I'm here. The mic is mute, sir.
Okay. Again, you have muted your mic. Okay, 1033. Please unmute your mic. 1033. Unmute your mic.
Yes, sir.
Ji, what we have done so far with my sort?
सर आई एम रियली सॉरी बट मैंने क्लास थोड़ी सी लेट ज्वाइन की है, मेरा इंटरनेट कनेक्शन था।
आप अपने पास्ट एक्सपीरियंस की बेसिस पे बता दें कि व्हाट वी हैव डन विद द माय सॉर्ट सो फार।
सर कल के हिसाब से बता सकती हूँ, कल मर्ज सॉर्ट का हमने जो डिवाइड एंड कॉन्कर स्ट्रेटेजी के हिसाब से
ओके
क्या था, रिकर्जन और
1034 ओके म्यूट कर ले माइक अपना 1034 प्लीज अनम्यूट। आप बताएं जरा 1034 आप बताएं ये सेम क्वेश्चन आंसर करें बट वी हैव डन विद द मर्ज सॉर्ट सो फार। One zero three six same question।
सर इसमें हमने टाइम ऑफ मर्ज देखा है कि व्हेन द साइज ऑफ द एरे ग्रेटर देन 1, उसके ऊपर हमने इसकी वैल्यूज को देखा है, और रिकरेंस रिलेशनशिप इसके दरमियान हमने उसको देखा है।
जी म्यूट कर ले माइक अपना 1036 म्यूट कर ले। एनी अदर क्वेश्चन? हाँ जी just if I can review what we have done, we have an algorithm of merge. This is the algorithm we have for merge sort, and we have converted this algorithm into an equation, and this type of equation is known as recursive equation or recursive relation. Okay, we have got this algorithm. This is the algorithm, and now this algorithm is converted into this equation. This is the same activity which we have done for the iterative strategy. For iterative strategy, if you can recall that we got equations like this. For example, we have recently got like an equation of 10n plus 3. When we are analyzing the algorithms based on the iterative strategy, we need to construct these type of equations. This is actually is the final equation, but we have its previous version of using these summation symbols for loops and so on. These symbols are used for the loops, but the thing which I'm trying to explain here, whenever we are analyzing the divide and conquer strategy based algorithms, first we need to convert these situations into the recursive equation, and this is the same thing which we have done for the merge sort. We have transferred the merge sort algorithm into this recursive equation, and I have already explained the parts of this recursive equation, which consist of two parts. One is the base part of the recursion, and other is the recursive part of the equation. The base part of the equation is already solved. We know that for n is equal to 1, the time of the algorithm will be equal to theta 1. But if the n is greater than 1, what we will have to calculate the time of the algorithm for two recursive calls, and each recursive call is actually taking n over 2 elements. And later we have ignored the floor and ceiling functions on the assumption n is equal to 2 raised to power k, and then we have this final recursive part of this merge sort equation. Now here again, if you just observe the two important parts of this equation, here you have 2. If you just observe this symbol of 2, which actually estimated after we have ignored the floor and ceiling function. Then we have added the two function calls, and after their addition we have got this constant of 2. This constant has a special meaning, and here it actually giving us the idea of number of recursive calls. So here from 2 you can observe that there are 2 recursive calls. Actually we have 2 recursive calls, and you can observe them from the algorithm. We have 2 recursive calls, first recursive call and second recursive call, and this 2 actually telling us the algorithm has 2 recursive call. Other important figure is in this part is actually n over 2. Here this is also is an important figure here in this recursive part of the equation. This n over 2 actually tells us each recursive call is receiving n over 2 elements. Most of the time in the recursive part of the equation, the value of n is less than the total value, or the n value. We mostly pass the less number of n's when we are doing the recursive calls, and that is why these recursive functions are actually converged towards the base case. Otherwise they will never converge towards a base case. So there are two important quantities here, and you can observe from these quantities that how many recursive calls we have in the algorithm and how much n values are actually passed to these recursive calls. Now, for example, if I write an algorithm recursive equation here, only the recursive part, not the base part, and I'm just want from you the how many recursive calls we have in this algorithm. Now there is some algorithm and it has a recursive equation equal to this. T of n is equal to 4 t n over 4 okay, plus theta n square. I've only write here the recursive part of the equation. Just keep in your minds, most of the time we only deal with the recursive part of the equation. We simply ignore the base part of the equation, but you must have in your minds we always has the base part of the equation, and which is most of the time equal to theta 1, or it has constant time most of the time. So answer me in comments how many recursive calls we have in this function. You can unmute your mic. Do not answer in comments. You can unmute your mic. My question is, how many recursive calls we have in this algorithm? Someone unmute your mic.
Sir, 4.
4 recursive calls. And how much n is actually passed to each recursive call?
Sir, n over 4.
N over 4. If n is equal to 16, then how much n is passed to each recursive call?
Sir, 4.
4. Okay. Now, one more important thing. What is the time other than the recursive calls? What is the time other than the recursive calls? How you can guess the time other than recursive calls? Any idea? Someone wants to answer this?
Sir, by merge activity.
Okay, merge activity is in merge algorithm. We are talking about another algorithm here, and we are not able to actually see the algorithm, but we have only got the recursive equation of the algorithm. And we can observe from the recursive equation, this algorithm has 4 recursive calls, and the time other than recursion is equal to theta n square here. The time other than recursion is equal to this. Okay, in merge sort, of course, this is the merge activity, but here in this algorithm, this is some other activity, and this activity is equal to theta n square. Okay, any question or confusion? Any question or confusion? You can raise hand if you have question or confusion. Okay, let's do another activity here. I'm just going to write another equation here. T of n, I'm only writing the recursive part of the equation. T of n is equal to 2 T n minus 1 plus theta 1. Okay, how many recursive calls we have here? 2.
There two.
And 2. Okay, and how much n is passed to each recursive call?
N minus 1, sir.
N minus 1, good. And what is time? N minus 1. And what is time other than recursion?
Theta 1.
Theta 1, good. Okay, any question about the recursive equation? Any question about the recursive equation? Okay, just review. If you have question, you can unmute your mic and then ask the question. I have to check your raise hands. Okay, let's continue our discussion. Time of recurrence, recursive equations. Time of recursion based algorithm is estimated as define the recursive equation first for the algorithm. Whenever we have a divide and conquer strategy based algorithm, first we will convert this algorithm into the recursive equation, and then we solve the recursive equation. Okay. The second part is solving the recursive equation, and solving means analyzing the algorithm or calculating the time of the algorithm. So far, we have performed the first activity. We have just learned how to calculate the recursive equation or how to define the recursive equation. This is an activity which we have just performed for the merge sort. Our second activity will be solving the recursion, or estimating the time of recursion, or estimating the time of the algorithm. You can also say that to solve the recursion, we have different methods. So many methods are actually used for this purpose, for solving the recursion. We can use the substitution method. We can also use the recursive tree method, and we can also use the master theorem. There is also a small method with the name iteration method. It can also be used for this purpose. We have multiple methodologies for solving the recursion. A substitution method, recursive tree method, and in master theorem, and we can use these methods for solving or estimating the time of the recursion. We can use these methods. The reason of having a multiple method is that so many times one type of recursion cannot be solved with one method. We have to use other method, and multiple method reason is also that we can estimate time of the recursion by using the one method, and we can verify time by using the other method, whether we have calculated correct time or not. We will be covering these methods in starting from this lecture onward. We will start with this method, which is known as recursive tree method. We will start solving the recursion by using the recursive tree method. Before that, just recall some of your concepts of logarithms. You have covered these concepts in different mathematical courses. You know that if we have a term like this, it can be replaced with this term, and it has so many properties. Most of the time we will be using the binary logs, and it will be written by using this term. You may have observed that I'm using the term LG only. LG is a term which is used for the binary log or log with base 2. Okay, we can also have the natural log. We can also have some other logs, and other logs will be clearly mentioned with log term. You will have to identify these terms when we are doing working here. Logs has so many properties. Log of 1 is always equal to 0, and if the base of log is same, its answer is equal to 1. We know that, and this term can be written like this. Base b here is actually base of the log, and we can also convert this term with this term, or this term with this term, using the properties of the log, and some other different properties of the log. Now, you have covered these properties in different courses of mathematics. So that is why I'm not going into the details of these properties. Just we will be using these properties in the next lectures, in the coming lectures. That is why I'm just like to recall them quickly. Let's start our recursive tree method. And in recursive tree method, what we will do, I have just established these steps which can be followed if you are using the recursive tree method. In recursive tree method, we actually create the tree. Tree is created for n elements. We have already created the recursive tree. The simulation which we have seen for the merge activity of 8 element arrays, and then we have divided it to 4, 4, and 2, 2, and 1, 1. This is actually is the recursive tree kind of activity. But here, when we are solving the recursive equation, we actually create a tree for unknown size n of the array. And how we will create the tree? We will create almost first 3 levels and the last level. Okay, first we will create the tree and approximately the first 3 levels of the tree, and then the last level of the tree. The reason of creating the last level I will discuss shortly. Calculate the cost of each level. You can recall that trees are kind of this format. We have a node, and if it is a binary tree, then it has 2 child nodes, and again its children again has 2 nodes, and again we have 2 nodes. This type of figure is known as a tree. Here is a special type of the tree, which is actually is the binary tree. Trees has levels. We know that the levels of trees mostly start with 0. You can observe that this is the first level of the tree, and it is always is a level 0. This is level 0 of the tree, and this is the level 1 of the tree, and this is the level 2 of the tree. So what we have written here, calculate the cost of each level, and if you read the statement, which is sum of the cost of each node at that level, and according to this divide and conquer strategy, it is actually is the individual function call. So how we will calculate the cost of each level? Here in the first level we only have one node. The cost of the first level is equal to the cost of this node, but here we will have to calculate the cost of this node plus the cost of this node. Okay, and if you go on the second level, we will have to calculate the cost of this node and this node and this node and this node. And if we add the cost of all these four nodes, it will be equal to the cost of the level 2. So the second step is calculate the cost of each level, which is sum of the nodes which are actually existed at that level. The last step is total cost of all levels. Okay, if the cost of each level is constant, then multiply it with the total number of levels. Okay, we have a tree here, and this tree has a number of levels, and we will calculate the cost of this complete tree, which has a input size n, and we will calculate the cost of whole tree. I'm referring it whole tree. And how the cost of whole tree will be calculated? It will be the cost of sum of all levels of the tree. This will simply add the cost of all levels of the tree, which we have calculated in the previous step, and we will calculate the cost of complete tree. Okay, any question or confusion so far? Any question? You can raise hand if you have question quickly. Let me go through this process quickly because I've just explained this process. Let me go through it quickly for the MySort. Here is again the recursive equation of the MySort. Here you can observe that we have used this term C whenever we have a theta term, theta 1 term, and if we remove the theta 1 term, it will be equal to C. And if we have the theta n term, it's not n here, if we have the theta n term, and if we remove the theta term, it will be equal to Cn. This is what we have already discussed, and here you can observe that we have replaced theta n with Cn and theta 1 with C, and we have started constructing the tree. The first level of the tree, the function is called with input size n, and here the function has called itself with n over 2 elements and n over 2 elements. Now, if you observe that we have replaced T of n here with C of n. The reason is that if we call the merge activity with n elements, how much time the merge activity will take? The merge activity will take the time equal to theta n or equal to Cn. After that, you can observe that here we have replaced Tn over 2. The cost of Tn over 2 is equal to Cn over 2. Now again the same argument. If we use the merge activity with n over 2 elements, now we do not have the complete n elements, we only have n over 2 elements, then how much time it will take? The time it will take will be equal to Cn over 2. Because we have n over 2 elements, then the time will be equal to Cn over 2. And same is situation here. The time here again will be equal to Cn over 2. Now after that, this n over 2 element further divided into n over 4 elements and n over 4 elements, and they will also be divided into n over 4 elements and n over 4 elements. Now if the merge activity is performed on n over 4 elements, how much time it will take? The time it will take will be equal to Cn over 4. Okay, Again, the time here will also be Cn over 4, Cn over 4 here as well, and Cn over 4 here as well. Okay, here is the complete tree. You can observe that the cost at first level is equal to Cn, and cost at second level. How the second level cost will be calculated? Cn over 2 plus Cn over 2, because we have two nodes at the second level. The cost of both of nodes will be added, and the total cost is equal to Cn. And here we will add the cost Cn over 4, Cn over 4, and Cn over 4. And if we will add all four Cn over 4s, it will be equal to Cn. So you can observe that in this situation, almost for every node cost, every level I should say, cost is equal to Cn. So because this is a binary tree, its height will be equal to log n. Okay, and how many levels we have in this binary tree? Levels will be equal to log n plus 1. If the height of the tree is equal to log n, then the number of levels in the tree will be equal to log n plus 1, and at each level the cost is Cn. So we can multiply log n plus 1 with Cn, and if we solve this equation, this is Rt of n, and if we solve this equation, this will be equal to Cn log n plus Cn here. Okay, and this is equal to theta n log n. Because highest polynomial term here is n log n. I'm just winding up this lecture here now. If you have question, just keep or write this question and try to ask this question in the next lecture. I have a next class also. Now I am going to leave this discussion. Now you can leave this meeting now quickly. Allah Hafiz.
सर ये स्लाइड्स अपलोड कर दीजिएगा.
Okay.